Hi, welcome to this Business Coach Kit training session. The marketing system uses seminars to attract prospects. Done well, you should get over 50% of attendees to a sales meeting. This session explains how to plan and market a systemization seminar. We cover running a seminar in a separate training session. So seminars are a proven source of new business, and you should be running them regularly. When you think about how often to run seminars, there are some constraints. The size of your prospect database is one of them. The more you email the database, the higher your unsubscribes will be. So that you can't offer too many seminars to too small a database. You also need to think about how long it takes to market each seminar. We recommend between 6 and 8 weeks in order to give people sufficient time to register what you're trying to do and to register for the actual event. Now, given those two constraints, you could run more than one seminar at once, so you market more than one seminar at once. It starts to get complicated. So the recommendation, certainly when you're starting out as using the Business Coach Kit to market your seminars, is to aim for one per quarter, one every 3 months. That gives you sufficient time to set up and market each one properly, and then to run them at the end of that quarter. If you're getting the right kind of people to the seminars and you're running the seminars well, that one per quarter ratio will certainly grow your business. It will provide you with a number of clients each quarter. The Business Coach Kit includes a marketing template or planning template for seminars. It's in the seminar marketing and admin pack. Here's a screenshot of what's in it. Essentially, you plug in the date when you're going to run the seminar and it suggests all of these preceding dates, the activities against those preceding dates. You don't have to follow all of these. We're going to go through this in the training session, what they are. Some may be more or less relevant to your circumstances, but they'll all come up, and and it tells you, when you need to do them in order to make the seminar a success. So first thing, venue. The three criteria really: accessibility for the attendees, so near to a major road with good parking, close to where your target audience work. It is a good venue. Somewhere in the back of beyond with limited parking and very difficult to find, not a good venue. Quality, people do take a line through the quality of the venue when they think about the quality of your coaching. They do like to see you, or they're impressed by you running your events in a decent venue, so not someone that looks run down or shabby. And price, clearly you have to pay, or generally you will have to pay for a venue. It's, in the scheme of things, not very much, easily covered by getting a customer, but nevertheless, you need to think about this, particularly when you're starting out, how much you want to spend on a half day of a venue. So typical venues would be good quality hotels. Sometimes you can use things like golf clubs. These are good golf clubs, quite often a nice venue for these kind of events, or a business center, something like that. Topic. Well, the Business Coach Kit includes 5 systemization seminars, so more than enough to run a different topic each quarter. You don't need to worry about creating new content, but topic is important, and clearly you need to decide which of those topics you're going to run for any particular seminar before you can start to market it. What day are you going to run your event on? Well, a few obvious things to avoid: school holidays. It tends to reduce attendance. So, the summer holidays are kind of a difficult time to run events. Avoid Fridays because you want to follow up immediately. So the day after, really at the latest. So if they have a weekend immediately after the event, by the time Monday comes around, they've forgotten half the things you said and they're less inclined to agree to a sales meeting. So avoid Fridays. Mondays, really for the opposite reason. People have had the weekend off. They may forget about your event, or there may have been things gone wrong over the weekend, which means they've got to go into work. So I tend to avoid Mondays and Fridays and aim for the middle of the week. You can run them any time of the day. I've seen seminars run successfully, first thing in the morning, so a breakfast seminar, right through to an evening event. So it's whatever suits you and your target market. Morning, I believe, is you will get a lower dropout rate in the morning because they haven't had time for things to go wrong in the office. So I tend to aim for morning, breakfast, or sort of just after 9. Price is a qualifier. So if you look at the marketing training sessions elsewhere in this support area, we do not want people who are don't have the money or are unwilling to spend the money on quality management training, because they're going to be unwilling to spend it on coaching. So part of our qualification is that we charge a reasonable amount for each half-day seminar. Then we know the people that have put their hand in their pocket and paid that are qualified. They have a fairly significant problem they think you can solve. However, to start with, when you're just starting out and you're trying to build experience and confidence in the content of the seminars, the fact you can get it over, the fact you can run these things effectively, by all means, run them for free for 12 months. So having decided those things, first thing you do then is set up the event registration website. Eventbrite is a great system for doing this, reasonably priced, very highly functional, but there are lots of other event type websites around. It doesn't matter really which one you use, but you set your event up on there. So every seminar, you have its own event registration page, and all of your marketing points to that page. All of your marketing for the seminar is designed to get people to click through to the registration page and then sign up for the event. In the Business Coach Kit, you have website copy for each of the seminars, which you can just copy and paste and use if you like, but you may want to modify it for your own purposes if you're put some of your own character into it. And your website should have an events page. It's your primary way of selling, and so it's relatively trivial to connect this to Eventbrite or whatever registration page you're using, so that people come to your website from some other marketing or through a search, they see a page with your current event on it and they can click through to the registration page. So don't miss that trick. Make sure they can register from your own website. You need to set up your CRM for the event. So you need to keep tabs as you run and grow your coaching business on which prospects attended which event, which customers attended which event, who has attended an event in the past. So you're looking at who didn't show. So maybe someone registered and didn't show up. So there's a message there probably around the fact they were too busy. So there's an opening for you to ring them even though they didn't come to the event. It's not, you haven't lost them. But anyway, you need to keep tabs on these people. So if you refer to the setting up your CRM training, it talks about tags and custom fields and how you can use them to do exactly this. So you set up these tags. And so not only do you keep track of who over time has attended events and turned into customers or not, but also on a particular event. So the current event that you're running, it looks really amateurish if, for instance, someone who's already registered then gets re-invited to the same event. Or worse, someone who said, no thanks, I can't make it. They've taken the trouble to tell you that. then also they get invited again. It just says you're not systemized. It says you're not organized. It says you don't know what you're doing. So you need to walk the talk. And you need to set up your systems to run this marketing properly. So that means, for instance, that everybody, you have tags to say, this person is registered for the current event or declined the current event. And when I send my next email out, the list, the filter I'm using to send the email to excludes the people that have already registered or declined. So take a look at the CRM training for more information on how to do that. So having got your CRM ready to go, then you set up and schedule your invitation emails. This may be within the CRM if you're using something like Infusionsoft, or it may be something separate like MailChimp if your CRM does not provide an emailer service. So you're really looking at 1 email per week for 6 to 8 weeks before each seminar. So, the cycle is run an event, set up the next one, then market it for a couple of months, then run the event. The Business Coach Kit contains sample emails, relevant copy for emails for each seminar, typically 6 to 8 emails for each. Now, these will need to be modified before you can use them, because obviously you need to change the date, the location, and all of these kind of details. You may need to put in your own testimonials and remove the kind of standard systemization testimonials. So they need to be modified to suit your event, but the bulk of the work is done, and these are emails that convert. So if you send them to the right people in the right way, people will click through and register. Yeah, and already mentioned emailer system either in your CRM or in MailChimp, but you want to see what people are doing. You're not be sending emails out just from Outlook or something. Firstly, you'll never send enough. Secondly, you don't know what anyone's done with it. Whereas if you use MailChimp or similar, it allows you to track opens and clicks. You should be blogging on a regular basis on your website, but by that I mean weekly, ideally, perhaps fortnightly. Well, it's not only is that good for SEO, good for Google to find your website, not only is it good for putting the content into LinkedIn and things like this, but it's also a great opportunity to include a link to your current event. So if you're running an event on, I don't know, let's say building your top team, then blog about how you build a top team and include a link to the current event. So you should be, scheduling 3 to 6 blogs during the time you're advertising each event. And the link obviously goes to the registration page. And there's a separate piece of training on using social media, but briefly, you should have it so that when you blog, some system such as Hootsuite picks up on that blog and kind of posts it to all your other social media accounts. So talking about social media accounts, set up and schedule these. Business Coach Kit includes files of posts relevant to each seminar. So I think there are 20 posts in each seminar, which you can kind of recycle. You can schedule to say, I want to send 20 out, 1 a day or 2 a day or whatever you want really. Not everyone will see every post, so it doesn't matter if you repeat yourself. Each of these posts will need to be modified. So there's a link in it. Now that link clearly needs to be replaced with a link to your registration site for the particular current seminar. And they have to be modified every time you use them. But however, the messaging is, can be reused over and over again. And if you're also using Hootsuite or some other scheduler for your normal social media posting, then these things should just be sort of dribbled in amongst them. So manage registration. So someone clicks through to your registration website, signs up, pays their money, or not if it's free. Ideally, you can automate this through to your CRM, but you don't have to. You can do it manually. The registration website will tell you someone signed up. It'll give you a copy of their details, and that then needs to go onto your CRM. Okay, Fred Smith has now signed up for this event, so I need to put a tag against him to say he signed up for the event, and I'm going to exclude them with this tag from any remaining invitation emailings. You also need to qualify people that have signed up. Now, generally, if you're charging the right price for the seminar, that's a pretty good qualification. People are not going to pay the money unless they're really keen to learn what the seminar is designed to teach them. However, particularly if you're running free ones, you will get competitors and freeloaders signing up for this. Now, if it's free, you have to accept that you're not really qualifying with the price, and you'll get all sorts of people there. And as long as they're business owners, well, why not? One day they might be a client, but you will get competitors as well. And so I suggest you screen each one. If it's either a competitor, so someone who clearly looks like a business coach and is just coming along either to rob your content, or worse, to poach your prospects, then it's not a problem. Ring them up and say, thanks for signing up. I'm flattered you want to hear what I've got to say, but however, it looks as if you're a competitor, so I'm not really keen on you coming along, and suggest it's not for them. If you get really egregious freeloaders who come along time after time, drink your coffee and network with your prospects, then again, it's probably it's not. It wouldn't be untoward to take no one aside and say, "Look, I'm sorry, you're taking a seat that is could be put to better purpose." If they're responding to an email, then you have to say, "I'm sorry, you're on my database by mistake," and then unsubscribe them. Now, what if you don't have enough people signing up? It is often the case that you have to pedal quite hard to get a room full of people. Now, when you're up to speed, when you go back and look at the marketing training sessions, you'll understand that actually 4, 5, or 6 well-qualified prospects in a room are what you need. That's much better than having 20 or 25 poorly qualified prospects in a room. But whatever number you're aiming at, it normally gets quite nerve-wracking as the weeks go by, and you think, I haven't really got enough people to run this event. So if you really do feel actually I'm not getting the people registering that I want, then what can you do about it? Well, here's some things you can try. You can try paid advertising online. Here are 3 places you can do this: LinkedIn, Facebook, or Google. There may be other places, but these 3 are reasonably easy to target. You can use ticket discounts, so it depends on the registration system you're using, but most of them will allow you to set up a discounted ticket. So let's say you're selling it for 100 quid, and you're thinking, actually, maybe if I do a discount to 50, I might get some more people. Clearly, you need to think carefully about this, because the price, don't forget, is a qualifier. So you don't want to be giving this away because you get a room full of the wrong people. But sometimes it is enough to get someone who's perhaps clicked on it once to sign up. Just they think they're getting a bit of a bargain. So you could set up discounts and market those through emails or in other ways. You can use direct mail. Snail mail. This quite often works. It gets through where an email doesn't. It's more expensive. It takes longer, and you don't know what happened to it unless someone signs up. But if you want to send a direct mail shot to 50 people who have shown an interest, in other things that you said, then why not? It's relatively straightforward to get your administrator to do this. You can invite a client or 2. It always helps, or it doesn't hinder, to have a client in the room, but they'll be an advocate for you. They're an existing client. They've taken the time to come along to one of your seminars. They're going to be a fan of what you do. So, you can kind of leave them to talk to one or two of the prospects in the room and oil the wheels for you. So that's one thing you can do. You can hit the phones if you're not afraid of telesales, and go through your database, people have clicked, ring them up, notice you're interested, why aren't you coming along, and you might be able to do them a deal on the discount code. Finally, you can offer tickets to strategic partners. So I don't know, maybe you network with an accountant. You can say, right, maybe if you want to market this to your clients, I'm prepared to give you free tickets so that you can put it over as a bit of added value for your clients to come along to this event. Clearly, you need to be making sure that they invite the kind of people you want to in the room. So there's half a dozen ways of trying to boost numbers if the bookings are a bit slow. So before the event, a couple of days, 2 or 3 days before the event, check the venue booking and confirm numbers. I have gone to someone else's event to support them where we all turned up and they had not confirmed the venue and the venue wasn't booked. So pretty embarrassing, and they're completely useless as a sales event. So check the venue booking and confirm the numbers. Send a reminder email to registrants 2 to 3 days beforehand. So all the people have got a flag in your database saying, yes, they've registered for this event. Send them an email. Tell them date, time, location, looking forward to seeing you, what a great event it's going to be. They may have booked it 6 weeks beforehand and forgotten all about it. Even if they've paid, people seem to put these things, or rather don't put these things in their diary sometimes. So send a reminder. I think this is really important. If you want to avoid no shows, remind them a couple of times close to the event. So the late afternoon of the day before the event, or if you're running it in the evening, perhaps the morning of the event, send them a text. Again, date, time and location. We're looking forward to seeing you at this event. Prepare or have prepared attendee folder. So every person gets a folder with registration form, feedback form, profile, testimonials and workbook. All of these things are included in the business coach kit, but clearly your profile needs to be done separately by yourself. But they go in there. Branded folders. Do not use cheap white plain folders. It just says cheap. So you go back to the branding training, which is another session on branding. We talk about getting branded folders. It will cost you more, but it creates a completely different impression in the mind of the attendee. And you've spent a lot of time and effort getting these people into the room. So another £5 on a folder is money well spent. So you get all these printed into the folders, ready to go before the event. Print out the presenter notes. So each seminar has fairly copious presenter notes that tell you, which exercise to run when to use a whiteboard, when to introduce an anecdote. So pretty important that you have a copy of these to hand as you run the event. Rehearse. You need to be confident of the content of the slides, when the activities take place, what the activities are designed to do, what the slides are designed to do. There's nothing worse than you being as surprised as everyone else in the room when the slide pops up. You need to be on your toes with this. So rehearsing really pays off. Check all your kit works and make sure you have a plan B for technology. So that might be a laptop and a spare laptop, both with a copy of the present, both with the access to the internet on. It might be a laptop and a tablet that you can access the internet on. Might be a spare projector plus one from the venue. But make sure you understand. Also have a collection of leads. Laptops and projectors tend to change the kinds of leads they use now. So don't be caught out by rolling up with a laptop which you are unable to connect to their projector. You also need to check the internet connection. So you'll be running these seminars from the internet. So you need to be beforehand confident that they've adequate wireless, sufficient broadband speed to run the presentation the way you want to run it. So in summary, seminars are a proven way to generate business as a systemization coach. So why wouldn't you run them regularly? Follow the template seminar plan in the Business Coach Kit. Whilst it works, it takes effort. So it takes practice, time and effort to get attendees to an event. Every seminar is hard work, but they really pay off in terms of sales. And your basic process is an event website, email marketing, social marketing, and your CRM. That's it.